go.
Party time.
Yeah. So, me oh my, he reached out to me, when was it? I think it was late fall sometime.
September, October,
Yeah. Say you were keen to do a remix of me oh my. And I was thrilled because I was, for a couple of reasons, I was looking to do another remix, but also I was thrilled to work with you.
Yeah, when I first heard this, I mean, you and I know each other from afar just through Matt LaForest, who's done your artwork, and he's as the people don't know, him and I are friends, very good friends. And so that was one song of yours. I mean, I've listened to all your work, and that was the one where I was like, oh, they get stuck in my head. It was the next day I was like, oh, that's interesting that it's in my head. I listened to it. I'm like, okay. And I've worked on 10 plus records of my own, so in various bands and solo and what have you. So I'm always kind of thinking like a songwriter when I hear anything, whether it be even Ed Sheeran. I'm not thinking, oh, I could do it better, by the way. I'm thinking, oh, that's interesting that he did that. That's what I'm thinking when I hear him.
Right.
No offense, Mr. Sheeran. But when I heard Me Oh My, I was thinking, well, first of all, I really liked the hook and the lyrics were great. I liked them more and more as I dug deeper into it. But then I thought I'd be interested to hear this more, this Jeff Lynne sort of REM style, which I've told you a bunch of times since I've worked on it, is that I really tried to get that motif of, REM from Automatic for the People or Monster. That record, is it called Monster? Hopefully it's called
I think so.
I think so, because I know you and I, we're both children of the 90s to a certain degree.
We are indeed.
And so I thought that it would be cool if I could grab the stems and see what I could do, because I, as you know, I'm beginning my path in production as well.
Yeah,
working on your record or this recording, and then also some other recordings. So it's
great. I love the sound that you realized on the song, on the remix. It's so different than the original mix, which I know that's the whole point of doing a remix, but it brings out a whole different mood, and I hear the melody and the lyrics completely differently too.
Yeah, well, the thing about the song is that the lyrics are strong, right? Very strong, and so it spoke to me.
Ron Yamuchi wrote those lyrics. It's his song, actually. He was the songwriter. I should just
Did you
say that for the people listening?
Yeah, great song, and so good work, Ron.
Yeah.
You collaborate with him a little bit or a lot? I understand.
Yeah. So Ron and I, we go way back when he used to write for the Georgia Strait. He reviewed my first demo tape, and then we hooked up to do some songwriting, and then we reconnected years later in 2016, and we recorded an album together where we co-wrote the whole album, and this was one of the songs off that record.
Well, it's a great song. Yeah. Did you co-write it, or did he?
Not that one. He wrote that one himself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, your voice lends itself well to his lyrics, so there you go. It's a great partnership.
Yeah.
I was happy to add my flair, which is, of course, as you said, it sounded like the Beatles, which I disagreed with, but I think what you meant is something different than what I heard when you said that, which is when I hear the Beatles in my head, I hear, to be honest, I hear She Loves You, or I Feel Fine, or From Me to You, or Twist and Shout, whereas many people, most people would actually hear Here Comes the Sun, or Come Together, or maybe Abbey Road. And I think that's more what you meant. And
totally.
A lot of people, maybe when they think of the Beatles, they think of, especially people who are 90s kids, think of Bird, Free as a Bird, which was Jeff Lynne production, right? And Jeff Lynne's production was all over the Traveling Wilburys, and also George Harrison, Cloud 9 record. That very much like really, really nice, fresh, clean, multi-layered, easy to listen to, really pleasant guitars, and really I'd like you just kind of nod your head and listen to those songs. You know, it's such a great era from about 87 to about 93, when Jeff Lynne was heavily involved in the Beatles and also George Harrison. And I love that, and Traveling Wilburys. I love that era so much. But
cool.
That's probably what you heard, I'm guessing.
I think so. And you know, it was I think in the guitar for sure, and the way that you treated the voice in the remix too, really to my ear. And I think as you were sending me iterations of the mix, I was watching the Beatles Get Back
as we all were
too. Yeah. So I think I was like, oh, my ears were like going yeah. And I love the instrumentation, because you stripped it back and added new instrumentation to it. So new guitar and new keys.
I basically took it down to the studs, but you've got your Rickenbacker in the back. I kept your guitar in. To be honest, I wasn't going to, and then all of a sudden I'm like, well, I actually like it. It sounds kind of cool. And so it basically is your voice and your guitar, and then I did everything else with the help of our mutual friend Aaron Chory on bass. Where did you record it? Tell me about where you recorded it originally.
We recorded it with Brent Cross, who's a friend of mine who has a studio in his home, the Grizz Studios. We did the whole album there. So
is that Vancouver or whereabouts?
Yeah, in Vancouver. Brent is a new music musician, kind of an improv musician now, but he is a singer-songwriter, but he was the lead of a Vancouver band in the 90s, and he was a guitar player in my band at one point too. So we go way back, and he's had many incarnations since his days in the Vancouver music scene.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we had a great time recording with Brent. I love Brent's ears. He's got a really wonderful musical sense.
Well, the raw tracks sounded great. I actually thought, I listened to my version and then your version, and I thought that the original version of the track was really like this cool 70s vibe. Really like not Big Star, but kind of like power pop combined with maybe like Fleetwood Mac-y kind of production.
Yeah. I can see that.
Just classic production is, I think, my point. And yeah, I liked it. I liked the vibe. And maybe it was fairly 60s too. That's probably what it was. But at the end of the day, the hook stuck in my head right away. It was like, boom. And I was like, I wanted you to sing Me Oh My a few more times. As you know, I changed it. So.
No, that's great. That's great. I like it. Yeah, you changed the vocal tag at the end.
Yeah, a couple things.
Yeah.
I can't wait for people to hear it. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, me too. April 1st.
1 month.
It's release day, yeah.
And you have another song out, do you?
Yeah, I just put one out a couple of weeks ago. Echo Chamber.
Yeah, and I've seen it everywhere. I've been swamped. And you haven't been texting me to say, listen to this, so I'm gonna have to listen to that immediately. Because the artwork's just, as always, the artwork's stunning with Matt.
Yeah, Matt does amazing work. Matt LaForest. Yeah, he does amazing work. Yeah, it was
fun, really fun.